All right, welcome everybody. Appreciate those who are here on time. We had almost 100 registrations for this. I think the account caps out at 100, so hopefully nobody wasn't able to get in, and I'm sure people will be logging in here over the course of the next 5 minutes. But I like to start on time, and I like to finish early. That said, if even if we were to go over with questions, I'm happy to stay on as long as is reasonable for questions that we have. And this is a topic that can get a lot of questions. So just to begin, my name is Thom Perrone. I own a little consulting firm called Stronghold Training. Most people at Pro don't know me through Stronghold Training. You guys typically know me as the senior coach for the Pro Coach program, which is Pinellas Realtor Organization's exclusive coaching program. So I've been coaching agents at Pro for about 4 years, but I've been working with Pro and training realtors for quite a bit longer than that. And with that, there's a lot of things we could be talking about, from how to grow your business, how to do proper open houses, how to, what's the best marketing strategy during COVID, lots of stuff we could talk about. But today, I really want to focus in on how Facebook advertisements, Facebook ads, and social media in general plays a role in you growing and developing your business. Now, that's a complex topic because we've got social media content marketing, branding, direct ads. Do I even need this stuff? There's a lot of questions. And there's a lot of people out there that are trying to sell you a lot of services. And there's a lot of other agents who are doing that stuff that you're seeing and probably saying, I wonder if I should be doing what they're doing. So here's our goal today. My goal for you is to have you walk away with, to start with, just kind of a better, broader overview of perhaps what you need to do and maybe even what you don't need to do. So what we're going to start off with today is kind of looking at, I've divided it up into 3 levels. We're going to kind of look at 3 different levels, if you will, of advertising, because not everybody needs to go all in. But I think there are certain things that you should do. So we're going to explore level 1, level 2, and level 3 of Facebook marketing and social media marketing, just kind of in general. And so I can start to put some fears at ease and categorize a little bit of what may be reasonable for you, so you can develop a plan and maybe not feel like you're missing the boat if you're not, or maybe have a more clear picture of what you want to do. Once we're done doing that, it's probably going to take the first half of our time together today. Once we're done doing that, no doubt there's going to be some people that go, thanks, you helped made me feel a lot better. I'm just going to do these couple of basic things, and I think I'll have a better idea of how to do that. And there's going to be other people that go, okay, I'm fully into this thing. I really want to go deeper into some ads, and then we can begin exploring some of that. At the end today, before we log off today, I am going to show you 2 things that I think are worth sticking around for. One, I'm going to show you how you can see the ads your competitors are running, not just to know what the competition's doing, but from a learning tool. It's really kind of cool. You won't see how well they're doing, but you will see the ads they're running. I'm going to show you how to do that. And the other thing I'm going to do before we log off today is I'm going to show you the ad that I tell all my clients to run. So any client that I'm coaching that wants to do Facebook ads, and members of my private client group do this, I'm going to show you the one type of ad, how to create it, how they do it. Now, given a topic like this, no doubt we've got people from all levels of expertise in Facebook here. There's probably marketing companies watching this right now, and there's probably people who aren't really quite sure why things show up on their news feed on Facebook yet, and they're really confused by it. So we've got all levels, and I want to kind of address all levels today. So for those of you who are brand new, don't worry. I don't think this is going to be over your head. For those of you who are a little deeper level, there's definitely going to be nuggets in here for you. And if you stick to the end, especially when we get to the Q&A portion, which is going to be most of today. So some of you may log off in an hour and 15 minutes from now, but we're going to have a large Q&A portion so I can be more responsive to some of your questions. Some of that may be a little advanced. So advanced folks, don't worry. You're not going to feel like it was a waste of time. At least that's my hope. To help me accomplish what I'm setting out to do, what I'd like you to do is in the chat, go to the bottom. You'll see real quick, couple housekeeping things. So this is not a typical Zoom meeting. I can't see any of you. You can only see me. I've got like 90 people looking in my window right now. It's a little bit more than usual. So I can't see you. You can see me. Let me show you how a Zoom webinar works. So at the bottom, you've got two main things to pay attention to. The first is something that says chat and one says Q&A. So the chat is over there to the right, and that's where you can type to each other. I see a lot of you already doing that. Hello, hello. I recognize a lot of names here. So you want to make sure that you choose to all panelists and attendees. So most of you, when you're saying hi, the default is all panelists. So I'm the only one that can see that because I'm the only panelist. So some of you said to all panelists, hello. Well, hello, but no one else can see that. So you want to change at the bottom where it says to, change that to all panelists and attendees. And then everyone's able to see what you wrote, okay? So that's the chat feature. And you guys can interact with each other there. I love to see all the Tampa people here today. That's awesome. So then the Q&A, that actually sends a notification to me. So when you do something in the Q&A, I'm able to see that. And I'm not going to be able to keep up with everything going on in the chat. You can see it's blowing up right now. So you can make fun of me in the chat if you want. I won't probably see it till later. But the Q&A I will see. I'll get notifications there. So if you have a specific question for me, a specific question you want me to answer, the Q&A is a place for that. And even as we're going along, if you have a question, throw it in there. I will get to those questions at least before we're done today. So with that in mind, my first question for you, which please respond in the chat, not the Q&A. Please respond in the chat with this. What are you really hoping to take away today, right? There's a lot we could talk about, and I'm going to try to give this as broad a brush as we can. But what are you really, really hoping to take away? Like, Thom, this would be worth my, well, you didn't pay anything for this, did you? It'd be worth my 2 hours or hour, however long we go, hour and a half, if we could just do this. And this will help me to gauge a little bit of where some of you are at. Now, as we go through this presentation, like I said, I'm going to present 3 levels of marketing. And what I'm going to ask you after I'm done presenting that is which level you're at now and maybe which level you'd like to go to. And that'll help me know how to focus the second half of our time together. We will take a break at 2:30 because I'm drinking a lot of coffee and I'll probably have to go to the bathroom. So with that, hope you got some coffee. Although I don't think it's going to be too boring today. If you're into this stuff, it should be fun. So I see lots of good stuff. How to get more Facebook followers. We're going to talk a little bit about that. How to do an open house ad that doesn't get stuck in the Facebook review process. Yep, we'll touch on that. How to target audience from lists. Perfect. So that's a little bit towards the second half. It's a little bit more advanced. We'll get into some of that. How to get real leads. I will show you an exact lead ad that I would create if I was creating an ad for you. If you were my coaching client and I was creating an ad for you, I'll show you the exact what ad I would run. Good. How to determine if it's cost effective. We're definitely going to talk about that. A lot of 101 stuff. Good. Add ideas. Good. We'll do that. Good. So keep going. Keep putting that in there. I love seeing that stuff. I could spend all day talking about Facebook ads. It's some sort of sickness I have. So I just get excited seeing those comments. So and some Q&A stuff is already coming in. Perfect. I'll be checking that here in a minute. Perfect. So let me jump in here. And I'm just going to share a little PowerPoint with you and kind of lead you through. I don't have many slides here. I'm not a big PowerPoint guy. I only have a few slides, but I want to really set the stage here for this topic. And I think it's so important. You know, you got so many people that come to you guys that want to sell you marketing services, and I'm grateful for them. I've used many marketing companies in the past. I've done marketing for clients before, and I'm grateful for it. But you know, it's real easy to wow people with what social media can do. And and almost make them feel like they have to do it, and then kind of overwhelm them with the complexity of it. And next thing you know, you're $2,000-$3,000 into something, maybe a month or two in, and you just don't even know if you're going to get the return on investment. So I really like to start something. And I'm not here, by the way, I am not a marketing company, and I am not going to sell you ads. So I'm on your team here. What I'd like to do is kind of start with just a real high level overview, asking this question: how much of this stuff do we even need to do? And what can we get if we do it? Okay, so let's look at this real high level. Okay, just some social media concepts and strategies here. So, like I said, I like to divide this into 3 tiers to answer the question, how much should I do? Level 1, I just call presence. Level 2, I call engager or engagement. And level 3, I call advertiser. One is not necessarily better than the other. It's a choice you need to make as to what you want to be. And you should make that choice based on things like budget and expertise and whether or not you're going to do this or have someone else do it. But I want to kind of just go through each of these. So level 1, and by the way, I should have said this at the beginning. I will share the recording of this with you, but please don't go anywhere because most of it's going to be Q&A. I will also share the slides with you. And I'll also give you links to additional videos. One of the links you're going to get is like how to make a Facebook ad, a real short, like less than 15-minute video, just kind of walks you through how to make one. I'm going to send you some follow-up stuff like that. That'll be helpful. And I'll also give you guys some gifts and stuff too. So I like to give stuff away, so you'll get more. All right. But you'll get one email from me. I'm not going to market to you after that. You're going to get one email from me. So don't miss that email. All right. So level 1, presence. Okay. So, Facebook today has become kind of what the white pages and yellow pages used to be. So when I first got started in advertising, I worked for the good old yellow pages, right? I worked there when it was GTE, if you remember that. I wasn't there when it was long as GTE. Literally, I started and about 2 weeks later, we became Verizon, but I worked at the yellow pages making yellow page ads. And, everybody had the white page listing that was free. And if you wanted a yellow page listing, you had to pay a little bit. And then you got to the quarter page and the half page and all that kind of stuff. And you had to do it. It was how people found you pre-internet. Well, that's obviously changed. Verizon doesn't even own the yellow pages anymore. They sold that off, and it's really just a big piece of litter on most people's porches these days. So how do people find out where you are? What's the white page listing of today? Well, for a lot of people, they would say, well, it's my website. But the problem with your website is that, to get onto page 1 of Google is really hard to do. But you don't have to. You don't have to. Because the search engine optimization, as it's called, SEO, of Facebook is much better than your website will ever be. So if I searched you right now, if I went in and typed in your name, if I knew your name, I would find you. But it'll probably be either your brokerage's website that's going to come up, could be your LinkedIn account, could be your Facebook page. And then from that, I could probably get your phone number or contact you. My point is this, guys. We all have to be able to be found. If someone is trying to find you specifically, they're going to go in Google and try to find you. They're not going to find you on the yellow pages. They're not going to find you in some obscure ad domain. And they're probably not even going to find you on your website, because your website's not going to be able to beat LinkedIn, your brokerage website if you're in a big brokerage, or Facebook. What's my point? My point is everybody needs a Facebook business page. Business page. I didn't say personal page. Why? Because they're different. First of all, the privacy settings are different. So in order to have a Facebook business page, you have to have a Facebook personal account. So if you're not even on Facebook, you would have to create a Facebook personal account and then create a Facebook business page. Now, there is a way around that, but it's complex, and I'm just going to leave it simple here today. Now, that said, that doesn't mean you have to go on Facebook. I've coached a lot of people say, I want no business on Facebook at all. I don't want to be on Facebook at all. I just want a Facebook business page. And you can absolutely do that. You can just use, you don't have to have the Facebook app on your phone. You can use the Facebook Pages Manager app, Facebook Pages Manager. You can download that on your phone and just look at your Facebook business page, and it doesn't have a news feed. So you don't have to be distracted. It's what I use. Facebook is distracting. I teach time management. I've learned I'd better just use the Facebook business manager or pages manager. Here's my point. You need to have a Facebook business page as at least a presence. Think of it as the old white page listing, so that if I search you, you can come up and I can call you from that. I can get your phone number. I can send you a message, somehow reach you. Even if the page isn't fancy and doesn't have a lot of content, it at least has a picture of you and a way to get in touch with you. You need to have that if you're in business today. It really has become, for many of us, another type of white page listing. Okay, what should you do with this page? Well, if you're only at level 1, then you should post your listings there. So it not because you're necessarily going to get a ton of traffic if you're only at level 1, but it does look good to your seller. Your seller's going to want to share their listing on Facebook. They're excited that their home's for sale. So they're going to go looking for it, and they can go find it on Zillow and post it to their Facebook news feed if they want to. But it sure would be nice if that also came up on your Facebook page and they could share it from there. And you can say that during the listing presentation. I'm going to put your listing online and you can share it from my business page. And again, it just looks as though, hey, you don't have to be a Facebook advertiser, but I'm in the 21st century here as an agent. And so again, I think this is a minimum. I believe everyone should do level 1. Have a Facebook business page, post your listings there. Whenever you have an open house, I suggest you create an event, a Facebook event from your business page, not your personal page. You can share it to your personal page from your business page. And we'll get into that here in a second. But you should definitely post your open houses as an event. Why? Are you going to get a lot of traffic from that? Nope. The reason why you should do it is because the seller sees it, it looks good, and they're able to invite people to it. And when people ask about the event, you can invite it, and it has, of course, the address and everything right there. And again, you're in the 21st century and it shows you're out there. You can go well beyond that. That's not level 1 though. So this is the stuff that is the bare minimum. Now, I said a minute ago that you should share to your personal page from your business page. And here's why. There's a lot of people that are on your personal page that don't really want to hear about all the real estate stuff. They just don't. And they love seeing pictures of your kids and your dog and maybe even your political opinions, but they don't want to see all the business stuff. And you might feel weird always posting on both. When you share from your business page to your personal page, if I don't want to see your business stuff anymore, I can unfollow any post from that page and still see your other stuff. So it's really easy to go on your personal page and say, hey guys, if you don't want to see my business stuff, just unfollow my business page when I post here and you can still see my other stuff. Again, that's kind of higher level than most people are on Facebook understand how to do, but people that know what they're doing, that way they don't unfollow you, but they can unfollow the business page. Here's the other side of this coin. You may be thinking to yourself, how do I get people to just like my business page and not constantly send me personal friend requests? Because then it's awkward. You're in a personal relationship with your clients. You can't. You're just too personal. They're going to feel like you're their friend, and you probably are. You're going to get personal friend requests. I'm sorry, but you are. My suggestion is accept them. Now, look, there's a lot of agents out there that have 2 Facebook accounts. The one that's really you, and then the personal page that's your image for the business. And that's fine. It's going to be hard for that to work though, because Facebook is always going to promote the other one that you're on all the time, and people are going to send you friend requests there. And it's kind of weird when you say decline their friend request and then send them a friend request back from the other one. Like, no, you're not inner circle. So I just suggest not getting tangled with that. You're in real estate. You are your own PR company now. I suggest you have a business page and a personal page. And when people send you friend requests that you know who they are, I'm not saying you accept everyone that comes your way. If you know who the person is and you accept it, that's fine. Obviously, it's going to require you to censor some of the things you put on your page potentially, if you so choose to do, and I would suggest that you do so. Um, Again, that's just a personal word of advice. You, of course, own your own business, and you can do whatever you want and take the results for whatever you do. So you're grown-ups, and I'll leave you to decide. Lastly, on the level 1 presence, you can boost posts, just a boost when necessary. Meaning, if you get maybe you have a big event coming up, or you have a listing that's not doing so well, and you just kind of want to get a little bit more of an audience to that post. To boost an ad is to boost a post is very easy, doesn't require much knowledge. You can just boost it to people who like your page. You can boost it to people in a local area, not hard to do. And when necessary, you may need to spend a little bit of money on that. And we'll get to that in a second, but that's only when necessary. So in summary, level 1, a Facebook business page, post your listings to it, post your open houses as events. And guys, if you do that, you are on social media, you are taking part, you're a 21st century realtor. That's different than being a century 21 realtor. But you should be both potentially. So my point is that you are now able to say to any seller, I'm putting your stuff online, right? And that does not require much Facebook knowledge, what I just said. So I'm going to I've spent too much time on that already. That does not require much Facebook knowledge. If you have a Facebook personal account, you can do this. Okay, let's move on. What's level 2? Level 2, I'm calling engagement. And for many of you, I have to warn you right here. Level 2 is the trap. It's the trap. So many of you are stuck in level 2, and I'd rather you were only level 1 or you went to level 3. And that's going to become real clear here in a second. Not that there's anything wrong with level 2, but it's the hardest one to stay in and get the results you want. I'm going to show you what I mean. So level 2 is engagement. You're a content marketer. You're constantly posting helpful articles on your Facebook page. You may be providing tools and resources, and that's great. But usually you're probably sharing a lot of articles. Maybe you're writing a lot of blogs. You're linking to other events and related pages, and that's great. From a content standpoint, you're filling the social media sphere with stuff that you think is helpful and interesting. You may even host a private group or public group or be active in one. And this is great. Let me be clear. If you are writing articles or posting articles and you are getting a ton of engagement, I mean, lots of people are liking it and sharing it and commenting. If you're running a group and that group is just going, you don't even have to get in it. It's like they're just going in there and talking all the time. If whenever you post something, it's not crickets, but it's chaos, it's just, it lights up, then you kind of got it down, right? That takes a tremendous amount of strategy, a tremendous amount of time, a tremendous amount of focus. And your hope is, if I engage with a whole lot of people frequently, eventually someone's going to pick up the phone and want me to be their agent. I'm here to tell you, unless you really, really, really know what you're doing here, probably not. Probably not. Not for the hours you're putting in. So those people that are coming to you and constantly saying, hey, pay me $300 to $500 a month and I'm going to post content all over your page all the time, and we're going to run contests and we're going to do all this stuff. Hey, that stuff's great. What kind of leads are they getting? How often are they making people's phones ring? You know, chances are you're not going to become a celebrity on Facebook overnight. And so if you find yourself spending hours of daylight, of selling time, posting articles, asking questions, putting witty pictures up there, posting memes, and it's crickets, or like your mom likes it and no one's calling you from it, or maybe you get one call out of 20 or 30 hours of work, I'm going to tell you, level 1 was a better investment of your time. You could have taken that time and done some of the more old-fashioned ways of connecting with people. That's just my advice. Again, nothing wrong with level 2, but if you think that you're working and one day it's going to click. One day, all of a sudden, I'm going to get this following because I got a lot of Facebook page likes. You're wrong. As a matter of fact, the Facebook algorithm, the big Facebook formula, changed a couple years back. People got sick and tired of seeing so many businesses talking on their news feed that Facebook muted them, just muted them. So even if you like a business, if you've never interacted with their page, Facebook doesn't serve up their content very often. Unless you've engaged with it, because Facebook knows they will go away unless people engage with the platform. So they said business pages, people aren't engaging with it. So they killed them, right? They said, nope, we're not going to push your stuff anymore. And they focused instead on groups. Groups are much more effective. So you've got all these people that are just laboring so hard on in content on their business page, and nobody's even seeing it. You have to pay to boost your post just to get people who like your page to see it, because nobody wanted that stuff. And that should say something to the rest of us about what people actually want to see. Now, all that said, this is a great news for the people who do ads, because if you pay for an ad, they do see it. Facebook is happy to cash your check and show somebody, but even then they want engagement. We'll talk about that when we get to level 3. My point is, guys, is if you're spending 10 hours a week creating content and it's not getting anywhere, don't think that there's some magic formula you're missing. You're just barking up the wrong tree. You're fishing in the wrong pond. Can it work? Yes. Are there marketing gurus out there who have proven it can work? Oh yeah. It's a huge strategy, but for most agents, it's not the best use of your time. So unless you are just someone who has this background and really knows what you're doing, and if so, you're probably getting really hot under the collar with me right now because you know what you're doing. Unless that's you, I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't pay someone to do it. All right? Because what do you want? Leads, business, phone numbers, meetings. Ads will get you there. Engagement, tell you what engagement's great for. Touching the people who've seen your stuff before. You can do that with ads too. Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not against you posting content. You can do it. My suggestion is do it like this. Download a program, or it's not a download, but go on the website buffer.com. Buffer.com. Buffer. Buffer.com. It's $15 a month. Go into buffer.com, and you don't even have to use Buffer. You can do this on Facebook. If you go onto your Facebook business page, you can schedule a whole month of posts in advance. I would take one day a month. I'd take the first of the month, sit down, look up all the content you would want to share that month, spend 5-6 hours doing this, get all the content, all the articles, all the memes, all the jokes, all the questions, all the emoji-laced comments you want to make, and go ahead and just go into your Facebook page manager and schedule out, say, a post every day. All right. Or go into buffer.com. I just like Buffer because it posts to more than one social media at a time. If you're just using Facebook, you don't need to use Buffer. Go into one of those platforms and schedule out your whole month of content, and then only schedule something if something cool comes up. Like you got a photo op, you're at an event, you want to share that stuff. By the way, all that stuff's great. I am pro engagement. What I'm trying to say is I'm not going to pull the wool over your eyes here and say that engagement equals leads. For most of us, it won't. You're going to spend too much time building an audience, and people don't really want to follow just the realtor's page. Now, this does work in other areas. For example, if you have a hobby, let's say you like hot air ballooning, and you have a page all about hot air ballooning and a private group all about hot air ballooning, it will be very easy to get a lot of engagement there. That works for engagement marketing. In real estate, people can only read so many articles about getting pre-financed, and then they're just kind of over it. That's not what they went to Facebook for. You're competing against cat videos, and you're going to lose. So those are my thoughts on that, and I'm happy to receive objections to that and questions about that. But that's level 2. All right, level 3, advertiser. Now, I know I've got the crazy picture of me there excited. I get excited about Facebook ads, but that's not because I think everyone should be doing it. In order to have this, you have to have a Facebook ads account. I strongly suggest you create a Facebook business manager account, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. On this, you're going to be uploading targeted lists. You're going to take all the names and email addresses and phone numbers of people you know, and you're going to upload it into Facebook. You're not just going to go and advertise to everybody in the neighborhood. Gets too expensive. You're going to be uploading targeted lists, or you're going to be creating lists. You're going to be retargeting people who have engaged. So if somebody watched one of your videos and they liked it from an ad, then we're going to keep serving those people videos. And not only are we giving them direct targeted content they've already responded to, but we're actually going to be making soft offers for them to engage with us. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And we're going to be giving them things called lead magnets, which are, hey, download this tool, download this list. We're going to be using this as an ad. We go out and target the people we want. They see the thing, they give you the information, and then we follow up with a phone call, email, text, and more ads. And guess what? Facebook is the cheapest form of advertising known to man. Why? Well, first of all, imagine you did a mailer. Let's say you spend $1,500 on a mailer and it goes to thousands of houses. Great. I don't know who opened the mailbox. I don't know who read my ad. I don't know what they thought of it. I don't know if they threw it out. I don't know if they saved it. I don't know anything unless they call me, and few do, and I spent thousands of dollars. On Facebook, I can go on and for pennies on the dollar, target a specific group of people, see what's going on, how well they're engaging, modify that list, and only retarget the people who actually engaged with the ad. You end up spending just dollars a day, and you know who you're reaching, and you stop if you're not reaching anyone. And if you are reaching people, the people who threw away the ad, don't worry, we're never going to talk to them again. There's no cheaper form of ads available today. That doesn't make it easy, but it makes it attractive. And in real estate, we only need to have one or two really good ads to get the leads. Now, you can get complicated and go in and start re-engaging those people and build a lot of videos and ads and things like that to retarget people. But you really don't even need to do that if you don't want to. You can very easily just create one or two ads that generate leads. Matter of fact, it takes me about 30 minutes to build one. It's going to take you a little longer if you're new. It takes me about 30 minutes to jump in and create an ad that gets leads. I have clients right now that are getting hundreds of leads a month and spending under $300 a month. They're spending less than what people are paying to have people put content on their page that does nothing. With that in mind, I'm going to ask you a question here in a second, and I'm almost done with my rant here. With that in mind, Facebook changed the algorithm, like I said, about business pages. Having a bunch of likes on your business page is not going to help you. I know what you're thinking. If I get people to like my page, then it looks like I'm popular. Or if I get people to like my page, they'll see my content. Facebook changed the algorithm. It's not likely that they're going to see your content all the time. Let me put it to you this way. Right now, as I do this training, Facebook is considering removing the like button from business pages. It's just not helping. Imagine investing a whole lot of time and money and getting likes and then it's gone. They did this recently with their reviews. They used to have stars for reviews. You can go on and put a review of somebody, but the stars thing has changed. So think about that. What do we really want from what we're doing? Do we want leads? Do we want to just put a bunch of great content out there and we hope it turns to leads? Or do we want just to have a presence? What I want you to do now is go into the chat, not the Q&A, go into the chat, and I want you to let me know two things. First, I want you to let me know what level you're at now. Are you level 1? You're trying to be level 2? Maybe you're trying to be level 3? Maybe you're somewhere in between, you put 2.5, whatever. Go into the chat and type in, remember, put all panelists and attendees, and let me know 1, 2, or 3. And then maybe put a little dash next to it and let me know what level you want to be at. So if you're at level 1, you put 1. If you want to be at level 3, you put -3. Or just let me know the level you're at now. But I'd love to see where you want to be. So are you level 1-1? You're level 1, you want to stay level 1. You're level 2, but you'd like to go to level 3. Let me know, and that will really help me know where to go from here. Man, you guys are fast on the chat. I feel like I was kind of hard on the level 2 folks. I didn't mean to be. I just hate to see, as a coach, as a sales coach, performance coach for agents, I hate to see people spinning their wheels there and feeling like it's sales time, and it's not. But that means no one wants to admit they're level 2. Okay, that's good. It's a hungry group to get to level 3. I want to be honest with you, that's rare. A lot of people say they don't want to get there. I'm going to show you what level 3 looks like, what an ad looks like, how to create one, so that you can kind of go, wow, that's a lot to learn, or I think with some training I could get there. And also I want to show you a little bit of, how it works, so that if someone came to you and tried selling you that service, you would kind of get it, so that you wouldn't buy into something you don't need to. There are some people out there, and they are all over realtors, man. They are all over you guys, trying to sell you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month on Facebook advertising services. And I'm not too pleased with them. So I'm not saying there aren't great marketing companies out there and you can't spend that kind of money, but on Facebook ads, to do something like that as a solopreneur, that's a tremendous investment. Now you can go easily spend that kind of money on Zillow and kind of know what the expected returns are. But some of these marketing companies, ask them how many realtors they've worked with. Ask them how many leads they get, not have gotten, how many leads they get on average for people. Ask to see the numbers, and don't sign a contract beyond 90 days at all. When people tell you how much it's going to cost to do their service, always ask what the marketing budget needs to be. And don't be surprised if they don't come back and tell you need to double down. And here's the biggest thing you need to avoid. Avoid absolutely any company that promises you results. The companies that tell you what they've done and how they got there, listen to them. When someone comes to you and says, I'm going to get you this many leads a month, watch out. Watch out. There's no way you can know that. There's no way you can know that. Advertising is not the same as direct sales. It is always a trial and error. It's a try this, change this, change this, change this until you get there, and adjusting the budgets till you get there. And when someone says, you give me about $1,000 a month, I'll get you about 100 leads a month. Okay, well, why are you saying that? How many agents have you done that for? Well, I've done that for 5 different agents in the last month. Okay, great. Then we can talk. But if you're just telling me that because you did that for a doctor's office, guys, you are not the same. Be careful. Be very careful. You are what's called a special ad category. Now, you already knew you were special. Of course you're special. But you are what's called a special ad category. It's fair housing law. Fair housing law. When you go in to do a Facebook ad, you have to select special ad category, which means you don't get to pick demographics like income, age. You are very limited on what you can target. So when someone comes to you and they're a hotshot marketer and they've never worked in real estate before, but they did all these wonderful things with these other groups, be careful, because you're about to really disarm their strengths. You let them know, I have to comply with fair housing and I'm a special ad category, and you're not going to be able to do the targeting you're used to doing. You still sure you can promise me those results? Just something to think about. Okay. So we're making pretty good time. I know you're ready to get to some meat and some tips here. So let me just make sure I got through the slides I wanted to. Couple quick reminders, and then we're going to get into the fun stuff. We'll take a break and then we'll get into the fun stuff. So it is critical that you know your goal before you start marketing. Never jump into marketing and just start playing with stuff to see what you get. It's a really expensive way to learn how to be an advertiser. Guilty. But know your goal up front. I would like to do this. And then, of course, we're going to do our best to get there. But you need to know what's reasonable as far as your outcome. You also need to know who you're marketing to. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make. Well, I just want leads. I'll get leads from anybody. That doesn't help. You really need to kind of know what you want your shtick to be, who you're going to target, and what you want to say to them. You need to plan to tweak that as you go. You're never going to, I have worked with people, they've labored over their ad for months. They finally get their ad ready and they put it out there. Guys, it's never going to go like you think. You got to get the ad out there, see what you get, and then begin tweaking the ad based on the responses. Matter of fact, I usually run 3 versions of the ad because I'm going to let the numbers tell me what works, not my instincts and emotions. My instincts and emotions are pretty good. They're well trained, but the numbers never lie, and they show me that I am potentially can make mistakes. So you need to listen to the metrics, have reasonable goals. Marketing will humble you. And then you need to give it time. And I know every marketing company tells you this. Here's why you need to give it time. Not because over time, and people have seen the ad 15 times, they respond, as a lot of marketing companies want to tell you. No, you need to give it time for the tweaks to happen. You need to give it time to change your audience. When you have a marketing company that comes back to you and says, yeah, I know your ad's not performing, but you give it another couple months. What's going to happen in the next couple months? Now, if they say, we're tweaking the ad, we're tweaking the creative portion, we're tweaking the offer, we're tweaking the text, okay, I'll give it time. But if you're just thinking it's going to sit and run and get better, man, it's not. If it's not working, it's not working. So just think about that. A lot of marketing companies tell you needed to have more time. What do you mean? And with that, you'll notice back on presence, I didn't put website. Most people are not finding their realtor because they went and searched realtors near me, found you, and called you. So all that time and money you're spending on SEO, I don't know. I'd caution you. I'd have you think about that heavily, deeply. Should you have a landing page somewhere or your name on a website somewhere? That's fine. But a lot of people go into business. They go, oh, I'm starting a business. I need to go get a website. $8,000 later, we got a website and no one uses it. Well, it's kind of just your industry. Your website's a brochure. You can have one. Have it just a landing page with your contact information, a form to fill out, something like that. Nothing wrong with that. But I have not personally found that web marketing and SEO marketing and web design and all that stuff really does a whole lot for the real estate industry. I have found that money could easily be better spent in targeted ads on Facebook that generate leads you can call today. All right. And that right there is the reminder that in order for this to work, it needs to be systematic. It needs to run like a machine. The worst thing you can do is just try a new ad every week and see what you get. You need to have 1 or 2 ads that run well, and then you have a system for capitalizing on those ads. Meaning, if I'm getting leads in, what do I do with those leads? Do I call for 30 minutes a day? Do I have time set aside? Do I have an email follow-up already made? Do I have a system? Is my business systematic? One of the biggest mistakes my clients make early on is they go and they create this ad and the leads start coming in and they're like, oh, okay, now what? I don't have time. When am I going to call these people? You got to have a system. Here's my email follow-up. Here's the text I do. Here's when I call every week. This is what I say. This is how frequently I call those people again. It's not like you're going to put an ad out there and all of a sudden you got listings tomorrow and you didn't have to do anything in between. Here's my big point. The purpose of your Facebook ads is one purpose only: to create the start of a relationship where then your sales process takes over. Your sales process needs to ensure it converts the ad. The Facebook just gets the lead. You need to know how to convert that to an appointment and then convert that appointment to a sale. And I know what most of you are thinking. I already got that down, Thom. I just need the leads. Great. I'm here for you. Maybe you're like, I'm not really sure how to convert. Then you have work to do there too, right? Do you have a good listing presentation? Do you know how to ask discovery questions? Do you get people on the phone and you just throw up all over them? Or do you know how to ask just a few questions and get a day, date, and time on the calendar without kind of giving them everything you know right on the phone? These are sales techniques that will turn your ads into much better appointments going forward. All right. That is the bulk of the beginner, if you will, the 101 overview of what we have to do. Now, what I want to jump into is a little bit of the higher level stuff. How do I actually create the ad? I want to tell you how you can spy on your competitors' ads. I want to show you the ad I would create if I was creating an ad for you. And I want to give you that stuff as well as answer your millions of questions which are coming in. So here's what we're going to do. It's 2:14 now, at least here. What we're going to do is take a 5-minute break, solid 5-minute break. We'll come back at 2:20. Okay, 2:20. We'll come back, and then I'm going to answer some questions when I come back from 2:20 to 2:30, and then right at 2:30, we'll jump into me showing you some of that stuff, and then we'll do questions for the remainder of the afternoon. So I'll see you guys at 2:25. I meant to say I will see you at 2:20. 2:20. All right, if you're still on break, checking your email, keep going. It's okay. I'm just going to take a look at some of these questions, see what I can answer kind of quick here. So first question here, how do you link another agent's listing to my Facebook page? So that's a little bit of a tricky one. There are rules about sharing other people's listings that I don't want you to break. And so, so I would have questions around that, such as, do you know this other agent? Have they given you permission to share their listing? And then the easy way to do it, if they have, is to simply go to wherever it's posted, whether it's realtor.com or Zillow, and just share the link to Zillow on your page. And you could recommend them saying, hey, check out my friend Sally's listing. And then they click and go to them. If they've have a post, you can share posts to your business page from their business page if they have allowed that on their privacy settings. But you cannot share other people's listings without permission unless you're going through a service that has acquired that ability. Unless it's some sort of like IDX thing, you're not going to be able to just go say, like, a lot of agents will do that. They'll go see like some multi-million-dollar house and they'll post it on their page, like, check out this property, like it's theirs. no, I can get you in a lot of trouble. So don't be doing that. If it's within your agency and you have permission to share it from your brokerage, that you could share other team members' postings and stuff like that, that's another thing. Just make sure that you have covered your bases on that. Don't go sharing multi-million-dollar listings and beach condos to try to make it look like it, even if you're not saying it's yours. Just want to be careful. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. I hope so. If not, you can ask it again. Let's see. How do you use the right words and visuals? So the most important thing you can do as a Facebook advertiser is to have a good offer, a good offer. One of the issues that I see most often in real estate is our offer is bad. It's just historically bad. The number one offer in real estate I see is, if you'd like to buy or sell real estate in the next 30 days, call me. It almost sounds kind of like a beg. Like, if you're ready to list, and here's the problem with that. First of all, we're doing ourselves as an industry a huge disservice of making people sound like we're not there until the transaction. You wonder why people don't want to spend 3% commission on you. Well, do you give 3% tip to your cashier? No. Matter of fact, most transaction coordinators only charge you $300 to $400 a transaction. We need to be more than that, and I know that you are. But when our offer is, when you're ready to buy in the next 30 days, call me, or when you're ready to buy or sell real estate, call me, we really do ourselves a disservice. And first of all, it's marketing sabotage. You have to think of the demographic you're marketing to. Probably less than 1% of the population at any given time is ready to list their home in the next 30 to 60 days. But probably about 30 to 40% of the population thinks they're going to move in the next 5 years. So do I want to advertise to the 1%, or do I want to advertise to the 40%? And if the answer is the 40%, which is the correct answer, then my offer needs to be different than, if you're ready to buy or sell, call me. And I need to think, how can I offer those people a service to get them working with me now? The good news for you is, if you do that, you have no competition there, because that's not what any agents are doing. They're all, use me now. And again, it's almost even pathetic sometimes. And so I don't mean to say, step on anyone's toes. I'm sure many of you have probably said that. Why? Because you've seen other people say it. It looks like the thing we say. It looks like the real estate call to action, but from an outsider looking in, it's a terrible marketing offer, because it doesn't even offer any value. Hey, when you're ready to buy, I'll check you out here. It's like, I've got a full cart at Publix and I'm coming up, and which cashier's lane am I going to go down? Well, the one that has the least traffic, the one who the cashier looks the nicest. That's not really helpful. And that's why everybody knows an agent, and they'll just refer you one, because we haven't done ourselves a real service here in promoting value. So I'll get off my soapbox and say this: you need a better offer. Let me give you an example of one. How about you say something like this instead? If you think that you might be selling your home in the next year to 2 years, now's the time for us to talk. I can show you what home projects you'd want to complete in the next 2 years. What's going to add the most value to the home? What are the unnecessary things you don't need to do? And what would your home list for, so that you know what you could potentially buy? I can give you that information with a 30-minute meeting. You should talk to me now, and then take away the commitment, even if you're not looking to buy or sell in the next year. But if you think it might be within a year to 2 years, we really should talk now. That's an offer that's a tremendous help. Now, here's the good news. When someone actually sits down with you and goes through that process and realizes they could sell their home and get a bunch of money and go buy something better and not have to mess with all these projects, they're more likely to go ahead and do it. And they're going to do it with you. If they decide not to, they're still going to do it in maybe a year. Well, they're already working with you. And if they decide they're never going to move after talking to you, well, guess what? They can now refer the valuable service you've given them, because they've worked with you, and not just throw your business card around. My point is, it's a better offer to a larger audience that can actually garnish us some business. If you go, Thom, I don't have that kind of time to be running around doing those discovery meetings with people, those types of consultations, then don't make that offer. If you just got the business flying in and you're just looking for the low-hanging fruit, have at it. But I'm telling you right now, we're all fighting over scraps, right? There's plenty of scraps to be fought over. But when you have thousands of agents fighting over the people that are trying to list in the next 30 days, I'm not saying don't spend time after those hot leads. Absolutely. Matter of fact, the ad I'm going to show you targets those people. But my point is that your general offer needs to be to a larger audience, and you need to be filling your pipeline a year or two out. And that's why referral selling is the name of the game in real estate. Referral selling, not fighting over leads. You know, it's a shame someone goes FISBO, they get 30 calls in 24 hours because we fight over these leads because we don't really know how to market for the long term. And because a lot of agents aren't interested in doing that. I'm telling you, there's no traffic on that road. Go market for the long term, fill your pipeline, eat steady. Look, scavengers are skinny, farmers are fat. Get fat on the long-term steady plotting. Okay, off that soapbox. So the right words and visuals really start with the right offer. You can have this most clever little commercial. You can have the best looking picture. That helps. The picture stops the scroll. The words get the engagement. But the offer converts the lead. I'm going to say that again because it's not in the slide. The picture stops the scroll. It's called the creative in the marketing world. The ad creative, the picture, the video, stops the scroll. The words cause an action, right? The words inform, but it's the offer that converts the person to being a customer. All right, so I answered that one. Someone asked if this will be recorded. Yep, it's recording. What if your personal page is private and business page is public? Does that work? Yeah, so business pages are by default public. You cannot have a private business page. So all business pages are public. You can make your personal page incredibly private and hide it away and hope that no one finds you. But if they do, you know, you have to have some sort of response if you don't want them to be your Facebook friend. My recommendation is just, you know, understand that's the business you're in. You're now a public figure. And I would just make your personal page something you're willing to show the world. It's a sacrifice, I know. But you know, it's one that I would suggest in a very relational business such as you have. It's kind of like being a celebrity. You know, most of them aren't on social media for that reason. They have a PR page. Is it cost effective to start your own group? It's absolutely free to start your own group. So that's the good news. You can absolutely start a group on Facebook. But the only groups that really work on Facebook are going to be groups that people are really interested in spending time checking out. So it's usually things like hobbies. Like go look up barbecue groups or fishing groups or sewing groups or gardening groups. And they're on fire, man. People are all over those groups. So you start a group like that, you can get a lot of activity. But the question is, how am I going to turn that to business? Try to find a group there's groups on real estate where realtors are in there talking that are pretty well engaged. But for you to start a group talking about real estate and you're the only realtor in there and think you're going to get a lot of engagement, it's going to be a real uphill battle is my point. So my suggestion is, why do it? Someone else already has got a group that has the engagement. Go and be a part of those groups. Now, don't go in there and just spam 100 groups with your ad, but find the groups you're interested in, be an active part of those groups, and make sure that if anyone has any real estate related questions, you help them. And that points back to you as an agent. So a lot of the business networking groups, a lot of people go out and do a lot of networking. We can't do that anymore the same as we once did, or at least not for a little while longer. So Facebook groups is kind of the social media networking of today. And if you handle it well, we could do a whole course on that. I find groups to be extremely, extremely profitable. But unfortunately, people get in, they spam an ad and jump out. And the goal of these groups is to actually engage with people, build relationships, network, get known. And over time, kind of like networking, you'll start to turn it around. That's a good question. Thank you, Nancy. Can you put people on on DNC on your list? Do not call on your list. That's a good question. I think so. I don't think do not call applies to advertising. I think it applies to phone calls. But don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure you can still. I've never heard it said that you have to remove them. You may have to remove their phone number from the list, but you can target them without the phone number, if that makes sense. So you don't need someone's phone number to target them on social media. Actually, doesn't even hardly help. So I'm posting articles and pictures. So mini level 2. Okay, yep. And again, that's not broken, but just if you're spending a lot of time doing that and not really getting anywhere with it, I would say, you'd probably get a lot further with doing more open houses, more networking, more direct calls, more follow-up, a little bit more direct personal selling is always going to get you further during the daylight hours than just articles. What time is this training scheduled to end? I feel you. I'm ready for it now. Just kidding. It's scheduled to end at 3:30. I imagine we will end well before that. Almost through some of these questions. These are good questions. Hopefully that last question wasn't because you were ready to check out now. If you create an event on your business page, why is it so hard to share it on your personal page? That's a good question, Jay. I'm not sure why you're having that difficulty. If you create an event from your business page and it's a public event, you should be able to go to that event and share it right to your personal page. So I'd have to see what you were doing there. That shouldn't be a problem. All right, we are almost through these questions. Great question. How about geographical targeting? Can you do this on Facebook? Yes. You can't do geofencing like you can on Google. So for those of you who really want to see how spooky Big Brother can be, so there's a thing called geofencing. So for example, we all carry around our little ID device here, our phones. I can go on, not Facebook, but I can go in and using some Google ads, I can track anybody who's ever gone into the vicinity of one of my competitors. So I do public training, right? I do sales training. So let's say somebody had been inside my competitor's training place. I can target people who had been there. I can target people who've just been to their website. And so they've already proven that they are interested in this or that. So I can retarget those. So geo-targeting, when people talk about geo-targeting, a lot of times that's what they're talking about is they want to put a geo fence around a competitor. So anyone that goes in there, so imagine I'm Best Buy, anyone that goes into, another type of big box store like that, I can target them. That's what people typically mean by geo-fencing or geo-targeting. As far as just choosing an area, like I want to advertise to Dunedin or I want to advertise to Temple Terrace, you can do that on Facebook as a realtor. That is okay. You have a minimum size audience you have to do when you're doing geographical targeting. I can't target a street, right? I can't target a neighborhood. I can target like a 15-mile radius. That's the only catch there. Or I can target like a county or a city. Sometimes a city, but usually it's going to give us the radius. So as a special ad category, you can do that, which I think was why you were asking. So someone said, if you set it up private, how will they add your business? Not sure I understand that question. If you have a private, a private group, if you mean a private group, I'm not sure I understood your question. I'm sorry about that one. I'll leave that up. I can come back to that. Will I be talking about Google Ads today? No. Future training on that? Possibly. So if you set up a private Facebook page, how will they add your business? So if you have a private Facebook, a personal page, you just go in and create a business page, and then you can make it so that you can hide yourself as an admin of that page. So no one has to know that you're the administrator of that page and link to your personal account, or you can make it public. And you can set your privacy settings so high that no one will see anything but your name and a blank photo on your personal page. So you can hide yourself pretty well on Facebook if you want to. But your business page is always going to be public, and anything you put there, anyone can see. I'm not sure if I'm quite answering that. I hope so. If not, I'm going to have more time for questions, but I got through all those. If you had questions in the chat, I didn't see those. You'd have to drop it into the Q&A. I did answer it. Good. So here we go. Let's get to some of the fun stuff. So I'm going to show you how to spy on your competitors and the ad I would create. Okay. So let's jump, and then I'll take more questions. So I'm going to go into, let's see here. Before I share it, let me go ahead and pull this up. Well, here, I'll do it this way. Share my screen. There you go. So you guys can check out on my screen here. And I'm going to pull up good old Facebook. Well, I'm going to do this the old fashioned way. I want to pull up good old Facebook, right? So here's my personal Facebook. Enjoy looking at that. It's so creepy. And I'm going to go to my Facebook business page. So here's my Facebook business page, Stronghold Training. I don't use my Facebook business page a whole lot to promote my consulting agency because I use other forms of advertising to get my clients, but I consult with many people on how to do this. So if you go, hey, that guy who did that advertising training, he seemed to know what he was talking about. Let's go see what he's doing. I would say, actually, don't copy what I'm doing. Go copy people that I've helped that are in your industry. Do that instead. I actually use my Facebook business page and my Facebook ads account as a test category. It's what I call the lab. It's the petri dish. So I do run a lot of stuff, but I'm testing things here. I play on my own stuff instead of on my clients. So here's my Facebook business page. You can see you've got all the stuff over here, all your settings and stuff like that. If you don't know how to create a Facebook business page, I'm not going to go through that today, but I'm telling you right now, if you just Google how to create a Facebook business page, Facebook has very, very easy tutorials on how to do that. It is very easy to create the page. You can create a group from this page. You can start groups here. So right here in this little drop down right here, you can see groups. You can start a group right from there. Very, very easy to do. For most of you, though, in real estate, I'm telling you, I don't know if I'd start a group. I definitely join some, though. So here's the Facebook business page. So if I'm level 1, right? So here, like I posted a thing about a Facebook scam going on. Matter of fact, it's worth taking a minute to just pause and tell you about this scam. It has hit several of my clients now. So there's a popular real estate scam going around for those agents who are advertising. They know you have a credit card on your business account. So what they're doing is they're sending you a text message or a Facebook messenger, and they're saying, hey, I'm really interested in your listing. And they put a link in there and they go, this is the one. And when you click the link, it pulls up a fake Facebook login page. You put in your username and password, which they now have, and it doesn't work. And so you probably move on and do other things. Or you pull up your Facebook app and you go into it there and you're like, I don't know what they're talking about. Well, meanwhile, they log into your Facebook business page. They drop your phone number. They stop anyone from being able to message you about any scams. They open up your Facebook ads manager and they run an ad for like a truck or an RV. And then as people call that ad, they take deposits and scam money out of people. They find realtors to be a very easy target because realtors are quick to click on links when they get an excited prospect. We're a little over eager. And so it's been a very, very successful thing. And they'll run your ads for $2,500 a day is the budget they typically set. I've seen them as high as $3,000 a day. So they maximize your card and get some really fast. What's sad is they write pretty good ads. They could legitimately make a lot of money if they wanted to apply their expertise in a legit way. But anyway, crime apparently pays for them. So just don't click any link anyone ever sends you about a listing. If it is your listing, and it should pop up and you should be able to see it. Don't click any links. Just say, tell me the address instead. Okay. So if anyone ever sends you a link about your listing, say, tell me the address, send me your phone number, and I'll call you. Okay. That's hit a couple of my clients. All right. So this is the Facebook business page. So if you're doing content, You know how to do that. You can post content and links. Most of you are going to boost post as a form of advertising. And that is possible. You can do that. You can do that at level 1, boost a post. But that's not what I want you to do. When I talk about running Facebook ads, I'm not talking about the good old boost post button. As a matter of fact, the Facebook algorithm isn't real nice to the boost post compared to running off of Facebook Ads Manager. So if you've never been to Facebook Ads Manager again, before, come over here to Ad Center on the left, click All Ads, and it'll pop up anything you've boosted before. But then down here at the bottom, you see here it says Ads Manager. Show more details in Ads Manager. So Ad Center, All Ads, Ads Manager. And when you click on Ads Manager, it's going to pull up a much more complicated looking screen like this. For those of you who are truly level 3, this is a place you've spent a lot of time. So this is the Facebook Ads Manager. This is where advertising is done. You do not need to post anything on your business page to run an ad. Matter of fact, 95% of the ads I run are not also posted on my business page. Now, you can take a post on your business page and boost it, or you can take a post on your business page and turn it to an ad, and there's a time and place to do that. But what I do is just come into the Ads Manager and create an ad. And what we're going to do real quick, it's going to be fast. This is being recorded though, and you will get a copy of the recording. Real fast, I'm going to walk you through how I create an ad and the ad I would create if I was you. I'm not going to be able to answer every question. I'm not going to be able to go into it as deep as I'd like. That's why I'm going to give you all a membership to try my private client group where you can come in and see this a little bit more. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You don't have to pay anything. You can come in and check it out. But if you're really getting into this, I'd like to give you more help. But I'm going to show you real fast here. I'm also going to send you a video that walks it through slower step by step that you can go back and play too if you don't want to have to try to scan through this presentation. But I'm going to go through it as fast as I can. So a couple things to know right off the bat. There's 3 tabs here: campaigns, ad sets, and ads. Campaigns, ad sets, and ads. They're like file folders. Within the campaign are ad sets. That's why the tab is behind it. And within the ad sets are ads. Here's all you need to know. Campaigns are the general name of what you're trying to do and the type of campaign it is. I'm going to show you campaign types in a second. Ad sets is your audience and your budget, but primarily your audience. You can technically set budget in campaigns, but don't. And then ads is the actual ad itself. So campaign is the type of ad I'm running. Ad set is the audience. Ad is the ad. Okay. And they all fit in. You can have multiple different audiences, multiple different ad sets inside one campaign. You can have multiple different types of multiple different ads in different audiences, but they're all going to be the same type of campaign. Okay, so let's create one. So you just come over here and hit create and wait for it. Now, it pulls up all these different types of campaigns, and I wish I had time to go through them all with you, but I don't. So this is where people go a little nuts. They're like, what does all this mean? Well, the good news is if you just kind of highlight, it tells you what they're intended to do. What you need to know is, depending on the choice you make here, is going to change how the Facebook algorithm works and the types of options you get within the ad sets and ad. So these are not all the same, okay? And I'm just going to really quick tell you about 2 of them, okay? So I'll tell you 3 of them. So the first one most people think of when they think of an ad is traffic. And that's just, in the old fashioned, it's not old fashioned, it still works, but here's a picture and some text. And if I click this, I go to your website. And if you want as many clicks as possible to go to the website, traffic ads is your bet. Now, Facebook will serve that to people who click things often. The happy clickers get that. It's different from a conversion ad. Looks exactly the same, functions exactly the same on the surface, but Facebook's algorithm will only serve conversion ads, or will primarily serve conversion ads to people who buy things when they go places. So you may get more traffic with a traffic ad, but then you're going to have to try to convert that traffic on the other side. Conversion ads should increase how many people buy from you. You go, well, I'm in real estate. What's that matter? I'm not selling widgets. I'm not an Amazon dealer. I'm not doing that stuff. When would I do that? Well, I agree. But sometimes you want people to just go to your website. And so conversion ads, traffic ads are good for just getting that traffic. Most of you, and if I was creating an ad, most of you should be creating lead generation ads. The difference between a lead generation ads and all the other ads here is it allows you to create a lead form. A lead form is a place people go and can put in like their name, phone number, and email address. People would rather do that on Facebook, plus Facebook auto-populates it. They would rather do that there than on your website. Okay. So you can run a conversion ad to your website and have a form there, and that works fine. You'll just have, typically the numbers show that you'll have better conversion, get more leads if you do it through the lead generation. So that's why I'm recommending it. So I'm just going to click lead gen here. You can name the campaign if you want. So once you've done that, it pops up this new screen. Same screen, just it's like going from landscape to vertical. Okay, so you can see over here to the left, we've got the campaign, the ad set within that, and then here's the ad. I'm gonna go kind of quick now. So you can name your campaign. So I'm gonna call this test for agents. Okay, and right here, almost everything that you do in Facebook, the default is probably the right selection. People freak out. They're like, what do I turn this on? Do I turn that off? It's so much. And I'm like, well, it's probably just the default. Except for y'all, agents, right here, special ad categories. You're required to declare if your ads are related to credit, employment, housing, social issues, elections, or politics. Well, we would turn that on and declare housing for this ad. Okay? So that's what you would do there. Now, at the bottom, another default. So this one was not default on. You need to put it on. But default on is your campaign budget optimization. And it says, what do you want your campaign budget to be daily? And that's nice. They say $100 to start. Thanks, Facebook. Or what do you want your campaign budget to be lifetime? My recommendation is turn that off. I know that scares a lot of people because they're like, well, I'm going to have to set my budget on the ad set, but I'm going to show you why I do that in a second. My suggestion is turn that off. If you have it on, it's fine. You're just never going to be able to go back and really fix that. So don't set lifetime budgets for your ads, because if this ad is working, we don't want it to stop. So I just suggest you turn that off. So turn on this special ad category housing, turn off campaign budget optimization, or leave it on, not messing anything up. But anyway, you'll find this next step will be different if you didn't turn it off. So now you get your ad set, which again is a fancy way of saying audience. Because I turned off campaign budget optimization, my budget now comes here. So I'm setting a different budget per audience, which gives me more control over response. And that's why I do that. I don't want every audience I make competing over the same pile of money. I want each audience to have their own budget that I can shift and change. And it saves you money. It gives you more control. So that's why I do that. So you choose your Facebook business page that you're going to run it from, even though they may not see the ad on your Facebook business page. You have to associate it with a business page. You cannot run ads from a personal page. You cannot run ads from a personal page. Okay, that's why you have to have a business page. Don't worry about dynamic creative. Okay, and now we get into the actual type of catalog as a new thing. Now we get into your budget daily. So for my first budget daily here, I'm going to put $2 a day. I always start at $2 a day while I'm getting an audience up and running. You don't need to spend more than that to kind of discover if an audience is working. If an audience is working, we'll increase from there. But I usually start with about $2 to $5 a day on daily budget. And then I got to create my audience. Now, I'm incredibly limited at what I can do here because I'm a special ad category. So what I'm typically going to do is under create new audiences, create new right here. What I'm typically going to do is go into custom audience, pulls up my favorite page on the Facebook Ads Manager, and I'm going to give them my own audience. Why should I let Facebook go find people if I already got a list of people? And most of you have lists you've been compiling for years. You got spreadsheets and all these people who know you already. They're warm. Let's advertise to them. So I'm going to upload a customer list right here. So a CSV file, which you can convert any spreadsheet to a CSV file. I'm going to upload my own list. So I don't have to spend tons of money to reach these people. It's probably not that big of a list. I'm sure it's under 1,000. And I'm going to upload my customer list. Or I'm going to target people who have already been to my site before. So I come here to Facebook page and advertise to people who have already been there or who have already been to my website, right here, website. So this is retargeting. So my first audience is going to be my customer list, and I'll either create a separate one or add to that people who have already visited my Facebook page and my website. And that would be my first audience. And then I would go in and save that audience. And then I would duplicate that and create a new ad set of different people. So you can have multiple ad sets under the campaign, each one at say $2 a day. So let's say I didn't upload a list and I just wanted to search. So here under location, edit, and I'm just going to say, okay, people living in or recently in this location. I'm just going to say people living in this location. This is a new thing on Facebook. You can target travelers. It's awesome now. So people living in this location, and the location is going to be Pinellas County. Boom. Pinellas County. So now I'm targeting people who live in Pinellas County. Okay. I can, this is a zip code selection, by the way, is unavailable, but I can, and because you're a special ad category or else it would be available, but I can shrink that, make that bigger, whatever I want to do. But now I've got Pinellas County highlighted, and I can make that an audience and save that audience. And I can have multiple different audiences. Okay. Once I'm done doing that, name each one, save each one. Now I come to the ad itself. Click next. Now I've got the ad. Never worry about the errors you get along the way. So now I'm going to go in and create the ad. Now I can create the ad from a post I've already made on my page, or I can create a new ad. Okay. So I can add my own picture. I can add my own text, and I can create a really easy little ad. So I've already got some pictures in there. You know how it's going to look. Great. Got some pictures there. I'm going to put here, new construction is a great way to save. I can say whatever I want, and I'll see how it comes up. And I just go in here and I can put the little headline, save now. And as I type that, it's going to show me a demo of what that looks like over here to the right. So I can kind of see how it's going to look to the people that see it. Real easy to do. But because this is a Facebook leads ad, I can create a form. Matter of fact, you have to. So you would click create form. And this is the form where they're actually going to fill out their personal information, such as name and phone number and email address. So here's the catch. I told you what ad, I was going to tell you what ad I would run. So the ad I typically have my clients run is very simple. It's a lead ad just like this, targeting their existing lists and their existing people, as well as a second audience of people in a certain area, whether it's local or out of state or both. And I run an ad that has them download a list of a certain type of home in the area. And I get that list by either custom making that list, or the best way is to go onto your broker website or whatever search you use that you can search for people. I'm sure you run custom searches for people already, right? I'm sure you either on your personal website, on your broker's website, whatever, you probably run custom searches for people. So you're going to go run a custom search. So let's say you run a custom search for condos on the beach under 1 million. Condos on the beach under 1 million. Go and run that custom search. After that search is run, it's going to list all the condos. You're going to take that link of that search and it's going to go into the form. So we would create a form. You have to put in the image for the form. You have to put in the headline and description of the form. You have to put in the questions like email, phone number. I would add phone number. You have to put in a privacy disclaimer. And then under completion here, it's the last thing they see in the form that has a call to action. And I would change this to say, get the list. And then you're going to copy and paste that link right here of that search. So people see the list advertised. Hey, check out all the beachfront condos available right now under $1 million. And they go, oh, I'd like that. They click it. It pops up the form. Enter your information. I promise not to spam you. Put in their name and phone number. Facebook will auto-populate it for them. They click next. Get the list. They click here. It sends them to the list pre-populated on your page. But now you've got their name and phone number, which back on your business page under Leads Center right here, those names are going to start populating, as well as you're going to get an email from Facebook saying you got a lead. And then you're going to call them and say, hey, noticed you downloaded my list. Just wanted to let you know I'm happy to help you see any of those homes you'd like to. And if you have any questions at all, just wanted to let you know that I'm a real person and here's my cell phone number and I'm happy to help you. And as that starts to work, as you start to get people filling out that form, you can increase your budget a little bit more. Sometimes you need to, but as you kind of get your budget up to somewhere around $5 to $6 a day, if it's a good and attractive list and people actually want it, sometimes you have to go up to even $10 a day, but you will typically see pretty good results from that. And if not, then we might need to change the picture. We might need to change the offer for the list. I've got some folks that get a handful of leads a week, and I've got some folks that get dozens of leads a week. I've got some folks that are spending, $10-20 a week. I got some folks that are spending hundreds of dollars a week. It's just kind of depending on what you do. But then once you have that coming in, you can spend some time tweaking it to get it even better and better and better. And I've even had a few clients that have had to lower their spend because they were getting too many leads and they weren't calling them. So real quick, before I take your questions, I just wanted to show you how you can spy on your competitors. So just come to the Google. And this, by the way, I say joke when I say spy on your competitors. This is really a great way to just see examples of ads that are out there. So just come to the old Google and type in Facebook ads library, Facebook ads library, and it'll come up right here, ad library. Click on that. And this is called Facebook ads library. And then you're going to take it and click here on housing. And then just type in, I don't know, let's type in good old Keller Williams. All right. So I'll pick someone out of state so you guys don't feel weird. So here we go. Here's some folks out of state. And you see, here's the ads they're running. Now, it doesn't tell me what their audience is, doesn't tell me what their ad spend is. It doesn't tell me how well these are working. I can see when they launched the ad. And I love to see ads that are old. So what's this tell me? Well, they haven't been running anything since September 22nd. So for whatever reason, they just started doing this. But that's a really nice picture. And you can see what it says here. And look what they're giving away. I didn't plan this, guys. A list. A list. Why? Because it works, right? It wasn't Tom's idea. So Richmond home buyers, can you believe some of these homes are underpriced? It's a gorgeous home. The picture made me stop. Sick of looking for homes that don't match your needs? Yeah. Just for you, we are putting together a list of the best homes. And if I click on that, get a list of your dream homes. When I click on it, it's going to lead me to a place where I'm going to fill out my information. And then it's probably going to send me to their website. But guess what? An agent will be calling me shortly. works, and they're spending probably a few bucks a day to get that going. All right, I see the questions are blowing up now. And so what we're going to do for the rest of the time we're together is I am happy to entertain all of your questions. If you have questions for me, put it in Q&A. If you have feedback for me, hopefully good feedback, put it in the chat. But I would love to hear what your takeaways are. So if you want to go in the chat and say, based on this, I'm going to do this, go ahead and do that. You're going to get a follow-up email from me. And that follow-up email is going to be a recording of this, a copy of the slides, a link to a shorter video just shows you how to make an ad, and then an offer for you to come into my private client group, which I'm not here to sell anything to you, but I just want to explain what the private client group is. So I run a private client group, and it's not just real estate agents, it's entrepreneurs, where we run weekly calls. So every Monday we have a call on strategy. Every Thursday we have a call on the technical side, and it's pretty much around Facebook ads. So I do a lot of coaching in there too, time management, sales process, scripting, email sequences, stuff like that. But they come in, and I also have a vault. So I record all the calls so you can go in and see. And I train them how to do this stuff. And then as they do it, like build Facebook ads, they come into the calls every week, and we call it the hot seat. And I give them feedback on their ads and help them make them better and price their budget and all that stuff. So it's coaching. And so it's the standard price on that is just $100 a month. And so we have 8 calls a month for $100 a month, and they get all of that. So that's my private client group. I will let you try that for free. Come on in and check it out. You also get all my online trainings for being a member. So I have a predictable success training on real estate, shows you how to do a real estate sales process. So you check all that stuff out. Eat it all up for a month. And if you like it, yeah, pay and stay. If you don't, take all that you can and go and do better. But it takes some time to do this on your own. What I am not doing is I'm not a marketing agency, right? I'm not going to go in and build your Facebook ads for you. This is for people who really want to do it on their own and learn it. So, so happy to do that. I will send all that out. And if you don't want that, you just want the slides, that's fine too. Like I said, I'm not selling you anything. You don't have to buy anything from me. Just want to give you all the help I possibly can. And I know that if you want more help, you know how to find me. So, all right. So I'm going to take your Q&As now. So I'm happy to stay on till 3:30, 3:45, 4 o'clock, even if we need to go through some questions. And I'll answer questions on anything real estate related. I'll answer questions on anything. So just ask away. It doesn't just have to be Facebook ads. This is your coaching time. All right. So Edward says, how do you post a listing on the business page? So there's a couple ways you can do that, Ed. So you can just post a picture of your listing and information about the listing. But what I recommend you do is make sure it's posted on Zillow or Realtor.com, and just link to those sites. People are familiar with those. I wouldn't do anything fancy, or ideally to your website, to your broker's website, is where you really want to send people. And if you're using Facebook Pixel, you'll know what happens when they get there. So how do you post a listing? I just take the link and I just copy the link to a post. Hopefully that makes sense. But I don't post listings to Facebook the same way as I post listings to, say, Realtor.com. Instead, I would just post the link. Hopefully that answers your question. So Brenda was paying attention. If I understand, you said a landing page is just as good as a web page, if not better. Yes, that is absolutely my opinion. Brenda, you can go to leadpages.com. Leadpages.com. It's like $15 to $25 a month. It is a drag and drop landing page builder. And if you want to have a brochure, this is who I am, this is what I do, and here's a form to contact me. That's all you need. Leadpages.com. You can go buy your URL at GoDaddy and link it in so it can be brendatherealtor.com and have a nice little picture of you, nice little picture of a home you sold, maybe a happy family that bought the home with you. Big key. If you'd like Brenda to contact you, fill out this form, and that's all you really need. And then you can post that landing page in every Facebook group you go to. And for people that don't use Facebook, it's a way to send them a link in email. And $25 a month. Like, just do that. It's drag and drop. You don't have to be a graphic artist. You could pay someone on upwork.com to create that for you for probably $100. But if you want a full website, Pinellas Realtor Organization, if you're a member, does build websites for people, and they're quite good. So the website I'm talking about is not going to have IDX and all that stuff in it. Okay. If you want all that, I say go check out Pro Sites. Pro Sites from Pinellas Realtor Organization is excellent. And they create, I think their websites are like $500 and they're great. All right. Can you use the list directly from MLS on the ad? I don't know, Gina, if I want to answer that as far as can you or not. I don't like the idea of giving away the MLS. I know a lot of people do that. They set up the custom searches that way. I would rather, personally, just from a real estate coaching standpoint, I would rather you save that for the consultation with them and you kind of restrict that access a little bit. And a custom search on your website would be my preferred thing. You would have to, I want to be careful also in how I answer that. I would check with MLS and their present restrictions on how you can publicize those searches. Now they are giving you their name, phone number, and email address to get access. So I believe the answer is yes. But just check with the privacy policies of anyone else's site that you share, because you're going to have to post the privacy policy on that ad. How long do you usually run an ad? Great question, Gina. So because I set the daily budget under the audience, my goal is to run the ad forever. My goal is to get an audience that starts responding, and I get a machine, like I said before. Like if this ad is converting, I have no reason to turn it off. All I'm going to be doing is adjusting the budget to kind of adjust the in and out, the inflow of leads. So if my budget's high and I'm getting a lot of leads in and I can't handle it, I shrink the budget a little bit. If the budget's kind of giving me a trickle, I increase the budget a little bit, and I increase my budget on the audience. If the audience isn't getting any response at all, I kill that audience, start a new audience. If the audience is getting some response, but I want a little bit more, I might adjust the ad a little bit, see if I can improve that. And that's the game I play. That's the gas and brake pedal, is budget. And so I like to run an ad forever. Matter of fact, I can't think of anyone who isn't, but I'd say 95% of all my real estate clients are running 1 to 2 ads continuously. We don't change it. We get the one that works and we keep going. It's better for the Facebook algorithm too. Those ads typically as they get engagement, the budget requirement from Facebook goes down and the response goes up. Running ads for like 1 week burst doesn't usually do real well for a budget. Will you say one more time how to make the list? So several different ways you can create the list, but you go under the ad set, create new. There's 2 create news. I'll show you real quick. Be real quick. So under Ads Manager, under the ad set, the middle one here, you got create new audience. And then you got this little create new drop down here, custom audience. And then customer list is where you would upload your customer list. And it works real well. And then you can create your own list, if you will, your own audience, just by targeting, say, an area. But that's what I would do. And I like to have like 3 or 4 audiences and test them all and just keep the one that works. If you want to add, can you use pictures from old listings? Absolutely. So if it's yours, you took the picture, just make sure your photographer, when they have the people sign, that they give you rights to the photos. The best thing in the world, if you've ever had great photos of your own listings, that's the best thing in the world. Stock photos people will give you a hard time. So I've seen it happen with my clients. They run an ad with a beautiful stock photo and people go on there and go, that's not real. To be honest with you, sometimes those were the best performing ads, but My suggestion, like when I've built ads for people, so I used to do a thing where people could pay me to just make an ad for them. Okay. I kind of got out of that, but because I'm focused on my private client group. But I used to always tell them, go get a photo. Go get a photo of a pool, go get a photo of a house, have a photographer take a really good one. So if you've got some really great photos, just make sure that when you say what the list is that they're going to download, that realistically matches that. Like, don't say you're going to, it's a beach condo under $1 million and you show them a $3 million beach condo. That's just, don't do that. So, but hopefully the photo looks so good that people think you're lying. You know what I mean? But we want it to be a really good picture of an authentic thing. Um, and if you have the actual photos from one of your listings, even better. Because then when those haters go on there and say that's not real, you can say, actually, that was my listing, and here's the link to it. All right. So again, a question about how long you run ads for. Ideally, forever, if it's working. Is there a handout for doing this? I'm not sure what you need a hand. I'm going to email you the slides. I'm going to email you another video, but I don't have a handout. How can we accept leads on your Facebook page? Great question. So you can create, accept leads on your Facebook page. If you're running an ad, it goes to a thing called Lead Center, which is on your business personal or your business page. Lead Center is off to the left. So that's where your leads will appear. You can also have contact forms where people can schedule with you on your Facebook business page. So it's in the settings in your Facebook business page. You can create that. But the main way you're going to get leads to what I'm talking about today is a lead form that's attached to your ad. So I know I'm probably not answering that as much as you'd like. Hopefully I've helped. Right, before you start the ad. So like if you wanted to, I'll just show you real quick. Thanks for giving me more info on that. So if you wanted to come to your Facebook business page here, so I can create it so that people can contact me here. So up here under the contact us, I can make it so that people can set an appointment with me. So you see over here on the left where it says appointments. Appointments is the way you would want to go. That's kind of your lead form, if you will, for your page. But let me show you a better way. If you're a little bit more advanced, what you actually want to do is set up your messenger, Facebook Messenger, to pop up. So when you guys get off this call, go to Stronghold Training at Facebook, and you're going to get a messenger bot that's going to pop up and start asking you questions. People are more likely to interact with that than to fill out a form. So I use messenger bots. It's not really a bot. I just use the Facebook Messenger tool, and I do that under settings. So over here to the left at the bottom, you've got your settings here. So if you click settings and then you come here to messages and you click edit, you can get into setting that up. I'm sorry, that's not where you go. Oh, shoot. Somewhere over here. Oh, messaging right here. I'm sorry. Messaging right here under general messaging. So right in here, it says starting a messenger conversation. So you see here, you turn that on. I've got it here. If someone comes there, automatically pops up. Thanks for your interest in Stronghold Training. How can I be a resource for you? And I can start the conversation right there, and it comes right to my phone, and I get those messages. So you guys can go on there and mess with that when we get off of this, and mess with my Facebook Messenger bot, see what it'll say to you. But I get those messages. These questions are awesome. I could do this all day. This is what I do in my private client group for hot seats. I just sit here and take questions like this all day. Let's see. They use the same house in their ad for 3 different locations. Is that okay, or does it need to be an active listing? The picture doesn't have to be an active listing. What you don't want to do is go take just random people's houses and throw it on there. Like, obviously it's kind of like taking a picture of someone else's kid and using it for an adoption picture. Like, don't do that. So absolutely 3 different locations though. Yeah. Like for example, I'll have my clients run a picture for, say, a pool home, right? This is a pool and a house, right? That looks good to you. So you stop, run that for homes in Tampa, Clearwater, Michigan. right? Pool homes. So where it can get weird is if it's a Florida pool home and you take a stock photo from some other state, it just make sure it looks like something you could find here. It's okay if it's not here. But what I'm saying is don't go grab someone else's listing photo from Michigan, copy that, and then run it here as your photo. You do not have permission to do that. So don't do that. Stock photos that you buy are one thing. Photos of friends or photos of other listings you have permission to use, you can do that. But my advice is just go get a picture of someone's house and get it well done. And again, like I said, I've got clients that use stock photos, but that can sometimes bring the animosity against stock photos. People go, it's not realistic. It's up to you what you want to do. All right. Appreciate you guys who have been hanging on here. I think it's because hopefully you're finding this helpful. All right. Can you explain how to set up the chat settings box so when someone logs my Facebook Manager, it auto pops up? So I don't know if you saw what I just did. Hopefully you were able to see that. So you just go into the Facebook business page off to the left, click messaging, and then the area says greeting. So you're just going to turn greeting on and type in your greeting. And then when you come to their Facebook message, when someone comes to your business page, the greeting will pop up. So if you didn't see that, watch the recording because I just showed you how to do that. All right. Jose says, just created my Facebook business page yesterday, so still trying to learn page settings. It's a bear. It's a lot you can put in there. At what point in my marketing would you recommend to actually start paying for ads? Today? No, to be honest with you, what I recommend is we all get excited about new ways to lead gen. What I recommend as your coach for today is that before you start making any Facebook ads at all, that you sit down and come up with a comprehensive business plan. It's not built entirely on Facebook. So are you going to do open houses? Are you going to knock on doors? Are you going to make phone calls? Are you going to do networking? And kind of come up with what you're going to do, how much of those things you're going to do, and when you're going to do it. Most realtors I've coached, and I've coached lots of y'all, we get scattered quick because we're entrepreneurs and we just like to go and have variety and we get excited about things. We talk about this all the time in my private client group. It's like, well, no, we need to have more of a predictable success process. So what I'd have you do, Jose, is make sure you have a predictable success plan. Hey, this is what I'm planning on doing. This is how much of it I'm planning on doing. This is when I'm planning on doing it. Then go out and do it. Track and tweak what you got. Go back and learn from that and make the appropriate adjustments. And if one of your pillars of marketing that you're planning on doing in those things is Facebook ads, then go ahead and get started. If there's a big learning curve for you there and you need to put food on the table in the meantime, maybe slowly but surely learn it. But one of the problems realtors oftentimes do is that we go and spend all the business week trying to learn some new skill when you already have skills you could be leveraging. Get out there and meet people, get out there and run some open houses, get out there and knock on some doors, get out there and do some networking. And then, spend one day a week learning something new. Don't waste valuable daylight. That's valuable sales time trying to do something that you've never tried before and you got a business that needs to get started. But if you already know how to do this, or you'd be a quick study on it, or you just want to dedicate a little bit of time to it, then don't go all in on just Facebook as your only lead source, right? Make it a part of a predictable success process that has some diversity. So someone's asking if they can reach me on Facebook or email. Sure. My email address, I will type that in on the chat. It's Thom with an H at strongholdtraining.com. You can go to my website, strongholdtraining.com, and reach me there as well. All right. So for the list we are offering to people to engage on the ad, you suggest making a list through IDX, but not MLS, correct? Correct. Can I reach you at Facebook or email? I already answered that. All right. So that was all the questions that came in. Whew, that was good. You guys are great. Appreciate all the positive encouragement. I hope that you took something away you can start using. Remember what we started with, though. level 1, level 2, or level 3. Guys, if you're like, this stuff was way over my head in this last hour, I'm level 1, that's fine. Historically, the way realtors have grown their business, I'm going to give you the top 3 things right now that realtors grow their business with that I've been coaching for years. And it isn't even Facebook ads. Okay. Number 1, referrals. You have to know how to referral sell. That isn't just asking for referrals once in a while, and it isn't twisting people's arms for referrals. It's equipping people to rightly refer you, sending them email templates they can send on, having offers other than just, hey, if you need a realtor, I'm available, but actually a valuable consultation service. Knowing how to equip people to refer you. Referrals, the number 1 way to get business. You are a consultant. That's how consulting grows. You got to get better at asking for them. You got to get better at equipping people to give them. Okay. You got to get a better offer that isn't just a transactional. Referrals. Number 2 way to grow your business, strategic partnerships. Strategic partnerships. Well, what's that? That is when you have business partners that are attorneys, family law attorneys, CPAs, elder law attorneys, estate planners, these types of people that know you, trust you, and would refer you over and above everyone else. You only need about 4 of those in your corner and you're set. If you have 4 family law attorneys that you're the only person they ever deal with and they're busy, you're going to be really, really busy, right? Because when the divorce happens, someone's got to sell that place and it's a sensitive thing. And so oftentimes the lawyer will say, I recommend selling your house. I'm going to put you in touch with Thom. He's going to be able to guide you through this. And he has the confidentiality and the sensitivity to these things. He's the only agent I refer for that reason. That's what you equip your strategic partner to say. Get ready. Here come the leads. That strategic partners, when people go to networking, I don't know why they go to networking and say, hey, if you need an agent, I'm here. Because all those people in that networking group are going to all the other networking groups and hearing all the other realtors say the same thing. Get strategic partners of those things. Hey, if you guys know attorneys and CPAs, I need to meet them. That's what you need. Okay. So strategic partners, number 2. So learn how to get properly referral sell, get strategic partners. And the third thing, it's going to shock you. Open houses. Open houses. Done the right way. If you go on my YouTube channel, I have a training there on how to do a proper open house. The reason why open houses don't work for a lot of agents is we do it a backwards way because it's the way we've always been shown. But if you run a proper open house and you get any traffic to it at all, open houses are a great way to keep the buyers coming. And then if you properly referral sell and get strategic partners through those people, family law attorneys, etc., from open houses alone, you can grow your business. And if you're brand new at real estate and don't have money to spend on marketing, you can go run open houses for other people. And through that, get some buyers, start churning some business, start getting some transactions under your belt, start asking for strategic partners, start doing referral selling, and 18 months from now, have a business and you haven't spent $1 in marketing. You got to work hard. You got to be assertive. But if you learn those things, you don't have to do this. And be careful of running to every shiny new lead gen object that pops up. Okay, just be careful of that. But if you're going to run to one, let it be Facebook ads because it works. All right. I hope that was helpful. I feel like I gave you a lot. My throat is dry now and I'm tired. So that meant I put my heart into it, I hope. So I hope you got a lot out of it. Stand by. You're going to get an email from me. It's going to have some good stuff in there. I hope you guys are either like overwhelmed with Facebook ads and you're cool with level 1, and I'm letting you know that's okay. Or you're ready to dive into level 3 and you've got a better idea of what you might do. And I'm going to send you more stuff to do that. I really hope to see like 10 of you in my private client group next week. Like I said, for free. I almost hate giving it away for free because then no one comes. You know, they only come when they buy it. But I want to give you guys a month to try that thing out. If you're a member of Pinellas Realtor Organization and you're looking for one-on-one coaching, it's the only one-on-one coaching I still do. You can check that out under Pro Coach. And I'll send you a link to that too. But if you want to come into the private client group, soak it all in for a month and not continue, you're free to do that too. But I hope to see some of you there. Otherwise, you guys have been great. Love the interaction today. That's all I can take of my voice. I'm sure it's all you can too. I'll see you guys on the next training.